We drove to Lake Almanor expecting one good weekend, but somehow crammed five completely different adventures into just 48 hours. Most people have never even heard of this Northern California lake, which is exactly why it still feels like a secret worth keeping. We boated across glassy water at sunrise before the crowds that never actually showed up anyway. Then we biked shoreline trails, fished for trout, and watched a sky so dark the Milky Way looked painted directly overhead. And somehow, a dormant volcano was only 30 minutes away the entire time. Lake Almanor sits in Plumas County, tucked beneath Mount Lassen at roughly 4,500 feet, and it holds about 28 miles of shoreline that most Californians have never once driven past. The lake itself was formed when Pacific Gas and Electric dammed the North Fork Feather River back in 1914, creating something that nature and engineering rarely manage together. What they built by accident is one of the most versatile outdoor playgrounds in the entire state, and almost nobody knows it. You can genuinely ask yourself why Tahoe gets all the attention when this place exists just 2 hours north. The boat launch at Canyon Dam sits quiet in the dark before sunrise, and that stillness is exactly where this whole trip begins. The moment your boat clears the dock, Lake Almanor opens up in a way that genuinely stops you mid-sentence. The water is so flat in the early morning that the Sierra Nevada just doubles itself in the reflection below you. You're not fighting crowds for a lane or waiting for a wake to settle. You're just out there, moving freely across something enormous and quiet. The scale of it doesn't hit you from the shore, it hits you when you're a quarter mile out and the pines look small. Then you bring the boat back in, swap your life jacket for a helmet, and the whole experience shifts underneath you. The trail that wraps the western shore is wide, smooth, and just challenging enough to keep your legs honest for 12 miles. Every half mile or so, the trees break open, and you get another angle on that water, a different light, a different color. It's the kind of ride where you stop more than you planned because the view keeps earning it. And the whole time, you're aware that most people driving Highway 36 have absolutely no idea any of this is sitting right here. By the time you're back at the shoreline, catching your breath and watching the afternoon light cut across the surface, you start noticing the fishing rods leaning against the truck next to yours. By afternoon, the lake earns a different kind of attention from anyone holding a fishing rod. Rainbow trout and brown trout move through these cold, clear depths in numbers that would embarrass most California lakes. You don't need a guide, a charter, or a lucky hat, just a valid license and a little patience at the shoreline. The fish here aren't a rumor. Locals pull them out with the kind of casual confidence that only comes from a lake that actually delivers. Then the sun drops behind the ridge and something else takes over. The light goes amber, then rose, then a deep bruised purple that no filter could improve on. When the last color drains from the sky, the stars don't just appear. They arrive all at once like someone threw a switch on the whole universe. This far from Sacramento, this far from any real city glow, the Milky Way runs overhead like a physical thing you could reach up and touch. You find yourself standing still at the water's edge, not wanting to move, not wanting to break whatever this is. It's the kind of sky that makes you feel both very small and very lucky at the same time. And just 30 minutes east, something ancient and volcanic is waiting on the horizon. Most people pack up after a weekend like that and feel like they got their money's worth. But 30 minutes up the road, Lassen Volcanic National Park is sitting there, completely undervisited, waiting to detonate your expectations. You've already spent a weekend on the water, on a bike trail, on a fishing dock, and under one of the darkest skies in California. And somehow, none of that is the most dramatic thing this corner of the state has to offer. Lassen's hydrothermal fields bubble and hiss like the ground itself is alive, and the volcanic peaks above them are genuinely surreal against a clear blue sky. This isn't a detour you squeeze in, what? It's the moment the whole trip snaps into focus. Boating, biking, fishing, stargazing, and a dormant volcano all within a single weekend, all without fighting a single crowd. That is what Lake Almanor actually is, and it's been waiting for you the whole time.